Welcome to Builds with Blocks, a show centered around the micro action figures and brick-based construction sets of the Halo universe. I'm your host, Tom Fishenden, and I'm joined by Colin Perkins.
This is weird.
It is weird. I don't like it. Matt Salvatore.
Ahoy, ahoy. How's it going, guys?
And friend of the show, Gabe from G Customs Creations.
What's going on, everybody?
Woo! Okay, so today's show we will be looking at the brand new Mega Construx Halo Infinite sets. Obviously, we recently saw the Halo Infinite gameplay reveal, and I think we are all very, very hyped to be getting our hands on these sets, so we can't wait to share our thoughts with you. So before we get into the main topic of the show, let's chat about what we've been up to on the block front. Colin, what have you been up to?
Oh boy, I've been gobbling up as many sets as I can find. And we've talked about it a little bit. I did get the Halo Heroes Series 12 a little while ago, so have that secured. I've been able to get, most of the sets we're going to talk about today, so I won't reiterate that. But all of the sets that we're talking about today, I have them all. I also was lucky enough to find an energy sword, and then
Nice.
I also grabbed the skiff. So we're not going to cover those because I haven't had a chance to put those together today. But everything else, I have in my possession, so it'll be good to chat through that stuff. And then, I also got the Masters of the Universe, the Battle Cat set.
Oh,
It's
sweet.
like the Merman, the Roton set, and that's pretty rad. So they did a really good job on Battle Cat. They didn't do any paint applications to his armor.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I feel like, for my purposes, it'll look fine on my shelf. It would be nice if they did, but I understand. And then it also gives me the opportunity to paint it myself if I ever feel like I want to go down that path. So yeah, doing lots of collecting and building the new stuff.
Cool. And in terms of projects you're working on, what have you been up to with Mission Debrief recently?
Debrief, we're in the middle of Halo Wars 2. So come check
Cool.
that out. We just finished the From the Deep episode, so that'll probably be out before
Cool.
We're over halfway through now, and we're back into cutscene area. The game starts with some really sweet cutscenes, and then it goes dark for a good 5 or 6 missions. So the next episode that we record finally gets some of that sweet blur action.
Nice. That's wicked. Cool. Well, Matt, what about you? What have you been up to?
What haven't I been up to? It has been crazy. I have picked up a ton of actually not a ton, I've picked up several of the Halo Infinite sets, so we'll discuss those shortly. I've definitely watched the gameplay demo over and over, so I'm definitely enjoying what I'm seeing, and yeah, not too much other than that. I've done some reviews on the figures and sets, so I'm happy to get more of these to do more reviews and happy to start talking about them. But other than that, not a huge amount of stuff.
Cool. Have you got any plans for any stop motions in the pipeline at the moment?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's been quite a busy time because I'm back at work and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to do something with the Halo Infinite figures. So hopefully I'm able to kind of pull something together on that. But other than that, not too much.
Okay, cool. No, that makes sense. And then Gabe, what about you? What have you been up to since we last spoke, man?
Since the episode that I came on, I've bought quite a few sets, like everybody else, so we'll get into those later, but I have been working tirelessly on a bunch of new custom projects.
Nice.
After the Xbox presentation with Halo Infinite, the following day, I think that was a Friday, I dropped my new Halo Infinite Chief figure. So I was pretty happy about that, but I've got some Covenant, like you say, Tom, from Halo 3. I've got a Mark 7 custom coming along nicely, but I've just been staying on the custom grind and going to my local shop, seeing what they have in stock, but just the same as usual.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, no, I was going to say your usual seems to be pretty damn good. So
Your usual's in the mix. They're in the mix.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Cool. So obviously we are a Mega Construx show, but I feel like we would be remiss to not at least touch on the gameplay.
Yeah.
So Matt, I'm going to start with you this time. What did you think of the gameplay reveal for Infinite?
I loved it. Lots of cool stuff coming out of it. It's nice to see that they kept some of the gameplay mechanics of Halo 5, so I'm happy to see Clamber back. The grapple hook, yes, sprint. Yeah, I don't want to. That's a hot button topic. Even today, guys,
it doesn't have to be.
I do think that the grappling hook is interesting. I'm actually kind of curious to see how it'll work and stuff like that, because I wonder if you could just grapple anything and if it pulls you to it. So I'm curious on how that mechanic is going to work.
In theory, would you rather have the grapple hook, or so not having played the game at all, just seeing how the grapple hook works? Would you rather have that or a jetpack?
I'd rather have a jetpack personally, because I think it fits more in the universe of Halo. You know, if you're in space, a grappling hook ain't gonna help you with beans. That's true. I mean, I think a jetpack or some kind of thrust propulsion like the thruster packs would be more apt, especially because you're like a 2,000-pound Spartan and you're being pulled by a tiny little cable, and the physics are kind of off with, like, if you grapple a brute, you pull yourself to them, and the brute isn't even moved by it. So I feel like if you're applying a force or a pull to a brute, the brute would also move to you. So it's a little awkward. I'm curious to see how it all shakes out. But other than that, I have to say I love what we saw. I love what the weapons are. The design looks nice. It's nice to see all the figures and stuff from the Mega Construct line in the gameplay. So lots of cool little things. I have to say that I know a lot of people are talking about, what's his name? What's the brute's name?
Craig.
Escharum.
No, Craig.
Yeah, Tom, you were saying how much you liked it. I thought it was kind of fell a little flat for me. But I'm excited, and I'm able to grow with this. So I think I want to see this character go on, because right now I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's the not Atriox. So I'm kind of curious to see where they go with that. But other than that, I am all hyped for it. I love what they're doing. The pilot looks cool. Everything looks awesome, and I love the open-ish world aspect that they have included. I love that, like that pan of seeing all you can go with Halo.
Cool. Gabe, what about you? What are you thinking?
I'm extremely excited. Some of my favorite aspects are probably the likelihood that there will be a codex. I would love to have some like being able to look at something and see all of the enemy, like the factions and all the enemy types or the weapons and their specifics, and being able to read through it is something that for me, like organizationally, would be super cool.
It's like heaven for reference material as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Sure. I agree with Matt. I'm really happy that some of the weapons that we've gotten from Mega finally have official names, like the Bulldog or the Mangler.
For sure.
And even in that trailer, they showed so many new ones, like the Ravager or the Pulse Carbine or the Commando. So, in one aspect, I'm super excited for the possibilities that are now open to Mega now that this has been shown off by 343. But I'm not too, like, everybody keeps talking about how flat things looked or how off the graphics were. I try to keep in mind that this is a demo. It is not finished. I know that it is close to release, closer than it has ever been before, but it's not finished and it's not the final product. And I have all my faith in the team that, I trust them with this series, and from what they've already shown us, it looks like, they're listening to the community and they're going on the right track back to what majority of people want. So I'm confident in what they'll bring out, and, I'm trying to keep my hopes up, and I'm excited for what we've got to look forward to.
Definitely. I almost feel bad leaving you till the end, considering you're usually the host. But Colin, what do you think?
Well, I was just going to build off the demo thing a little bit. We're no experts, but I from my understanding, from listening to podcasts and listening to people that are in the industry, that demo was going to be the demo that was going to be at E3. And they probably started working on that thing, I don't know, December, November the previous year. No, so 343 hasn't said anything specifically about that. Maybe they'll address it by the time we publish this episode. But my thought is they probably planned for a good 6 to 8 months of work on that demo. So that thing had to have been in process well before COVID and all the other stuff hit. So it's got to be disheartening for the team at 343 when people, when this is the only way you get to present it, right? This demo, you have to present this gameplay demo because there's no E3, and you can't give a behind the closed look at this. They get so much flack because you're going to put it up on YouTube, and anybody can pause YouTube at any point in the game. When they pause it at a certain spot where your team probably just didn't, they didn't res it up as much as they needed to because it was going to be a gameplay demo at E3. Again, it makes it sound like I'm defending it, but at the same time, I feel like somebody needs to defend this team because they're putting in so much work, right?
No, yeah, for sure. I think you're spot on with that.
So like Craig, the Craig meme, like they didn't like Craig appears for like a millisecond, right? But whoever made that meme was dead set on making Halo look a certain way, right? So it's just frustrating.
Yeah. Nobody goes through a game, like I've never played a game pausing it and trying, you know what I mean? Like it flows as a game.
Well, all the comparisons were like Craig to The Last of Us or Ghosts of was it Onimusha or whatever it is. Whereas like Tsushima, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. But that's like comparing Craig to like the main star. They weren't comparing Chief to the main star or whatever. So it's the gross internet thing where you can make anything look bad if you really want to. So
yeah,
I feel like people also need to keep in mind that even back in older Halo games, if you're too far out of range with something, textures pop in and out. I remember that happening even in Halo 5. And also with this being an open world game and having to load, it'll probably be procedurally generated, but with having to load so much at one time like that, you can't possibly expect everything to be in perfect resolution and all textures loaded in and all models, crisp and clean. Like it's going to have to load.
Well, the demo was built to be played for 5 minutes by a professional that was on the floor. They weren't sitting there taking snapshots of it while they're doing our screenshots in real time. So they didn't have that. They just didn't have that in mind. If they knew all this stuff was going to happen, they probably would have, sunk even more time in it, which who knows what that would have done for the larger timeline. So anyway, my thoughts. I'm happy. I love the having the grapple shot. I think makes sense to me to be able to traverse around the ring in this open-ish area. My question about the jetpack is, I feel like if you had a jetpack, you'd probably make it like the Halo 4 jetpack, which only had so much propulsion before it ran out and you fell. Yeah. But if you have the grapple hook, it's like you can make certain zones on the edges of the open world. You just can't access it, right? So I feel like that's cool. I want a grapple shot up to the crashed frigate. Immediately. Like that's gonna be cool. So exploring this world with that additional traversal instead of just like trying to hop up on rocks like we've been doing before, or grenade jump to the spots that we're not supposed to. It allows us to get around to areas that we always wanted to in the maps. Yeah. But now it's going to be something that they've intended for us to do.
It has a cool Batman feel.
Yeah, right. And the physics and the weight. Maybe this set of Mjolnir is supposed to be a little lighter or something like that. Who knows? Anyway, overall, I'm happy with the gameplay that I've seen. I like the different armors that we've seen from the aliens, from all the alien races, which I think is fun, and it kind of plays into what we've been speculating, like these mercenaries, and there's just a bunch of these factions on the ring, but then there's also the organized banished. So that will be fun to see how that plays out. I think the main antagonist is interesting. I'm curious about where Atriox is. I'm curious about Cortana. There's lots of questions to unravel.
He's dead,
so
Colin.
It'll be fun. No, he's not
don't
dead.
kill Atriox off screen.
No.
No, I agree.
People do not like that.
No, I think for me, the thing that I'm most excited for is the world building. So I was watching Halo Cannon's video, and he noticed that in the TAC map, when it goes across, a few different markers come up. So there was like a marker for a marine rescue mission, and then there were 2 different markers for different like UNSC outposts. And I think that's the kind of stuff that excites me. I like to kind of get immersed in this world and have loads of different things to do, and also to see how normal people within the Halo universe are responding to these things. So in that kind of regard, I'm very excited about the fact that we have the pilot, because I think he's going to be a really, really good vessel to explore the emotional side of this story, which I think is going to be awesome. I could talk about it for ages. I'm actually arguably the most excited I've been for Halo in years. So I'm very, very excited to talk more about it in the future. But obviously today's episode is all about the Halo Infinite sets and not the game, sadly. So I reckon we get straight into these. Now, just before we jump in, if you are listening along at home and you'd like to look up any of these sets, they are now all on the official Mega Construx website, so you can visit www.megaconstrux.com/halo or /n-us then /halo, and you will be able to see all of the sets that we're talking about in today's episode. So we have broken it down into all of the different sets that we all have. We have all got different sets, and the reason I'm hosting today is because sadly I have only got one.
But it's a good one.
It is a good one.
It is a good one, and we'll talk about how I got it when we get to it, because somebody on the show may have had something to do with that. But yeah, so without any further ado, Gabe, did you want to take it away with the 2-pack?
Absolutely. I was at I went to my local Target actually with the DCPI numbers, which each set comes with, and that's actually how they had it in the back, because there was nothing on shelves. But I got a couple of them, along with some other sets. But the 2-pack, I wanted to make sure to get that one just in case they didn't have anything else, because it has Chief. So for anybody that doesn't know, the 2-pack comes with a Banished Brute Warrior figure and the new Halo Infinite Chief minifigure, and it comes with a Spike Grenade, Gravity Hammer, Energy Sword, the new, the M60 Sidekick pistol, I suppose, the new MA40 Assault Rifle, and it comes with 2 frag grenades, I believe. And then, of course, the 2 figure stands. But Chief...
Do we get the unnamed weapon with that, too?
We do, yeah.
The not brute shot.
The rifle, as it's called.
Yeah.
The thing.
But the Chief in this set has a silver dry brush, similar to the Halo 2 figure that came with the Arbiter versus Chief pack. So, compared to the other ones, I think we've got dirty boot version, clean version, and then this one has a dry brush. But the Brute uses an amalgamation of all kinds of pieces. It has the same shoulder armor as the Halo 5 Arbiter, but in red. Okay. And it actually, I'm not sure if anybody else has talked about it specifically, but in the 2-pack, the Brute has these very, very, very small, printed on kind of like bullseye applications, and there's 3 that run down the side of each shoulder, which is just they've gone so above and beyond with the details on their figures this year, which makes me super happy. But it uses the Halo 3 Brute helmet, the Arbiter shoulders. It's got Atriox's chest with a new a loincloth, sort of similar to the Chieftain figure,
which is rubber, right?
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's completely made out of rubber. But the Energy Sword also has gone back to the old style, which revealed in the gameplay trailer, or I guess it was the gameplay trailer, not the gameplay footage.
Like the minute long.
They show a brief moment of the Energy Sword, which sort of resembles Halo 3, which makes me pretty happy. As much as I like the new mold, I'm kind of glad that the old mold's making a return. I think, other than that, the pistol has some painted detail application. It's got gunmetal metallic gray on top of the base gray plastic. But cool. As a 2-pack, I give it, if I had to rate it from 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 7 or 8. I wish the Brute was more similar to the Hero series, maybe. Just a little more.
He's a little brighter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I just I want it to be a little more uniform. And seeing that I haven't personally gotten too many of the Hero series, I've only got one of the Banished Brute, but I like the set overall. It gives you obviously the main character of the upcoming title. It gives you a new figure from the faction we'll be fighting against. So all in all, I think it's a good mix, and it gives you a good range.
You would imagine this Brute is like a different rank or something like that, right? That's why he's got the different armor.
Yeah, probably like a minor or something.
I mean, I think some of this Infinite with all the different alien factions with the different armor themselves, it's kind of showing that I think a lot of the enemies are just kind of cobbling together what they have, versus like where the Covenant was very strict and regimented with how everything looked, which made sense in universe. Now it makes sense. I feel like the Brutes are just kind of grabbing whatever they can, throwing it on their helmet and shoulder and going out there.
Is there MA40 in this set, the same one that comes with the Recon in the Heroes line?
Yes, there is in the 2-pack.
Cool. Sweet, that answers my question. Matt, take it away.
A couple of things about this set actually is that it's not an army builder set in a way that I think that the 2-packs, the Halo Heroes are. So I feel like this set kind of draws itself back by having one figure that you can amass a multitude of, and then you don't want a multitude of chiefs. So I wouldn't call it an army builder. Yeah, I wouldn't really call it an army builder. Yeah. I would say it would have been nice if we had included a couple more human weapons. I would have liked to have seen maybe the Bulldog shotgun in here.
I can agree with that.
The grenades for this set are actually smaller in circumference than previous grenades. So the stem is longer and the circumference is of the actual grenade portion is smaller than previous versions.
Really?
Interesting.
So I thought that was kind of interesting too. And I also really, really do like the waist piece that is rubber. I think that's awesome because you keep that design aesthetic and you also get a full range of motion. So a couple of little things.
Have we gotten spike grenades before?
Yeah, like way back.
Were they also this rubber material?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Really, really so I think the first spike grenade came in ODST Ambush way back in the day, which was the UNSC recruitment center.
With the jump pack.
Cool.
Yeah.
I did have something to ask. What was it? What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Are the grenades the new ones that have got the little Call of Duty square gap so you can put them on the tab pieces? No,
they do not.
Okay, that's interesting. So that means there's 2 new grenade molds in this line then, because these are new, and obviously the ones that the Marines actually have on their leg straps are new. That's cool. I didn't realize that.
Well, I believe that the ones that the Marines have are just Call of Duty grenades.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's going to look weird because they're pineapple grenades. Okay.
I may have missed the mention of the gravity hammer, but I'm excited to see how that plays out in the new game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
we've
definitely.
I think we had a gravity hammer a little bit in 4 and 5, but it's been a while since we've been able to really use it. So it'll be fun to see the Brutes use it in action.
Ooh, I bet that'll be awesome.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
An assassination with a gravity hammer would be like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be cool. Matt, why don't we move on? Why don't you take it away with the Recon Getaway, the set that I could have got my hands on today if I had ordered it.
Oh, that hurts. All right, so I do have the Recon Getaway. It has 123 pieces and it retails for $14.99. This is probably one of the best transmission designs of the Mongoose, so it's kind of able to give with the turns.
Cool.
It's not as complicated as what we see with the Warthog set for the Infinite, but it does have a nice little give. The only thing I'll say is that if you load it up too much with Marines, it becomes a little top-heavy, so if your Marine is sticking his gun out to his right, then it'll probably lean right just because it's on that pivot ball.
Okay.
The figures that come with this set are the reason you get the set, though. The Mongoose is cool, but the figures are the reason. So you get 2 Marines, an Elite, and a Grunt Conscript. So the Grunt Conscript basically has the same design as the Clash on the Ring blind bag series, except it has a lighter flesh tone. So it's more of a tan instead of a gray. Comes with a Needler, and then we have the Elite The Elite is also similar to the blind bag series, except that its, I guess, Under Armour suit is black instead of gray. And you see that in the Infinite gameplay where Chief meals one of the Elites, and it has that exact color scheme. So I love that we're really just pulling from Infinite and making these characters come alive. So that
definitely.
one comes with a plasma rifle, which is kind of interesting to see. So back to the OG Halo version. Then we get 2 Marines, and the cool thing about these Marines is I feel like I feel like Mega has taken a huge step with these Marines, and I know the huge drawback is that they're taller, but once you get past that, the design and the customization that come with these guys is awesome. I love that you can take their helmets off. I love that they come with different face colors. I love that we have a guy with a beard now.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of little cool things, and you can swap the helmets in and out. Like the helmet on this Marine can go awesome with the female sniper, and you can just swap it out from the Halo Heroes line. So you get a SMG and a shotgun, and there's just so much about this set that I want to just say army builder, because you can buy boatloads of these and just have a huge infinite army, so I'm super excited about this set. I think I have no drawbacks about it. Everything I like about it is perfect. I guess maybe I would have liked to have had another pair of shoulder pads for the Marine, but other than that, I love it. It's good stuff. What do you guys think?
What do you think about the Mongoose build?
The Mongoose build, I like it quite a bit. Like I said, the transmission is unique. It is that kind of, I want to say it's like the Halo 5 Mongoose design, where it's a little lighter, little less armored. So it's a little loose.
Did it feel longer to you when you were building it?
Hold on, let me grab an old one and compare it. I got it right here in front of me.
Yeah.
It is a little. Nope, actually, if I'm comparing it to the Emil one, it's not.
Yeah.
It's about the same. The wheels are actually closer together. One cool thing about this Mongoose, though, is the back seat where you can sit the Marine in the back seat. So there's a lot of different ways and positions you can position them on there. So you can have them standing up or sitting down, facing forward, facing backward, and there's a nice little leg stand on there. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. I like it. What do you think about it, Gabe?
For me, the best part of the set, of course, was the Marines. I'm absolutely in love with the black undersuit for the Elite.
Looks sick.
The build itself, I was really, really impressed with, actually, because the whole undercarriage of the Mongoose is just usually with the older Mongooses or Mongoose, you had to actually build the undercarriage, but now it's just one big piece where you can put in each individual axle to connect the wheels.
Yep. It's pretty sophisticated.
I really like the direction. I like the direction they're taking the UNSC ground vehicles, at least that have the new suspension system, because it makes for a lot more playability, and even for taking just action shots or something, you can have it propped up on different things. But I think the set, all in all, I agree, it's totally army build. It's got all the army build potential. I actually got 2 of them when I bought them.
Nice.
So they're super cool.
I love them.
I'm sure the Mongoose is more game accurate, but I feel like the old Mongoose were a little, it's a small vehicle, but they also felt like a little thicker.
Yeah.
A little beefier.
Yeah.
And this one is a little bit more light on its wheels, I guess.
This one feels like it would blow up easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I'm sure that's game accurate, So the little piece that's right behind the driver that sticks up, that turned me off a little bit. But now that I've seen it and played with it a little bit more, I'm into the design. It's just different. So I'm getting used to it, and I do like the suspension underneath. I think that's a really fun play feature, if nothing else.
Yeah, it is a little skimpy.
Matt, I've got a question for you. Did you ever get the Oni Mongoose with the blue enforcer and the rocket launcher?
I have that.
How
I don't.
How does the build for that Mongoose compare to the Infinite Mongoose? Because in my, when I think about it, I feel like they're similar, but
no, it's different. It's more like the other, the other ones.
Okay,
yeah. It's a really cool Mongoose. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, the suspension systems for these sets are brand new
Right.
for across the
Yeah.
board. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and the build was the build was completely
I
different.
did just want to chime in quickly and say that Mia over on the Mega Construx forums shared that originally the alternate build for this set was going to be a UNSC comms tower.
oh,
So
cool.
that
wow.
makes me think a little bit about obviously the smaller set that we saw in the wave with the banished turret. So I hope that they release instructions for that in the future, because it would be really cool to see what they were envisioning and how they would make that with the parts included in this. I could see some cool stuff with those axle pieces.
Yeah, I would have preferred that actually. Because did anybody do the alternate build?
I did not.
I just
No.
did the
I don't
wonders.
have the set, Matt, so no.
No, I know, man. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to. I was just saying the other guys.
No, I was gonna say we should probably do an alternate build show. I think that would be fun
Yeah.
down the road.
Yeah, for sure.
Once
think-
we all have a second set, or we've had time to spend with these ones, let's just cover all the alternate builds
Yeah.
at once. That'd be fun.
I think that's a really good idea. I am actually planning on. I was thinking about it this evening, and I think when it comes to our video reviews as well, I'm going to do a separate video for some of the alternate builds.
Yeah.
So I might take this hog apart and make the boat and see what
Careful.
that looks like at some point.
Don't
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we'll keep moving forwards because I think we've got some nice momentum going with this at the moment. So, Colin, you are
Yeah.
up next.
Yeah, I was able to snag that Banshee Breakout.
I want that Banshee.
It is. Let's see here. Let's get the specs here. So I have it as $19.99 MSRP. I feel like Target charged me $24.99.
They are,
Could be
yeah.
wrong.
It's been popping up at $24.99 at quite a few places.
Walmart, too.
Smiths
Yeah.
in the UK are charging that.
That's a little weird, but on Mattel's site proper, they're only saying 20 bones. 218 bricks. We get a Spartan Recon, who's super rad. It's probably one of my
Nice.
favorite figures that we've gotten.
Nice.
I'll talk about him in a second, and then we get another Elite Ultra, which is very similar to the Halo Heroes set, or the Halo Heroes figure. I'm not gonna really talk about him much because we'll talk about the Halo Heroes version more. It's
that's fine.
the same exact mold, only just a little less detail.
Okay, cool.
It's color wise from the armor, it looks pretty much the same, just less paint applications. And then you get a little beam rifle, a little red beam rifle, which is pretty rad too. But no paint applications on that. But this Recon is great.
Nice.
I don't think I have many Recons. Can you guys tell me if they changed anything from this at all, just from looking at the pictures?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is the new mold Recon, which has only been released in that set and Series 12. It's a new Halo Reach mold. So now, currently, to date, they have Halo 3, Halo 4, and now the Halo Reach Recon.
Okay. So is the chest armor always this rad? Because this thing's amazing.
I believe that's the Scout armor from Halo Reach.
Okay.
So they've had that for like June and things. Actually, I got a question for you about the color. How does that figure match up with the did you ever get the customizer set, the purple versus green?
No, I never got that. The thing is so rare.
I'm dying to see how the Recon in that set matches up with that, because it looks
Okay.
like that metallic green
Yeah.
instead of just like a flat green, but it does look like a really nice figure.
Yeah, it's great. The paint applications are great. Like on his shoulder, he's got. Is it like what is it? Are they little knives or what are they on his
It's a
shoulder?
little knife.
No, it's multiple because it's got multiple prongs. on it.
Oh,
has
it's
he
the
got
bullets.
The bullets? Yeah, because June
Yeah.
has got bullets on his shoulder plate.
Yeah,
It's basically June with a Recon
Yeah,
helmet.
it literally is.
but it looks good. I mean, it makes me happy.
Yeah, it's
so and I
solid.
like the boot color. That's a little bit different than the rest of the green. So it makes me feel like he's out there he's getting dirty, or that was done by design, which I'm good either way. His forearms match that as well. So yeah, he is very good. One of my favorite figures that they put out with this whole Infinite line so far. The Banshee itself, it's so thick and beefy.
Jeez.
This thing,
It's a
That's
fig
banished
boy.
for you.
it's a fat Banshee, and I wasn't prepared for that. Like going along in the build, like okay, this feels like a Banshee. I can see where the wings are coming together. This makes sense. It was a cool build, but once I had it in my hand, this thing is just fat, and I'm envisioning It is, and when I'm envisioning Banshee in the gameplay, it's supposed to be sleek, right? And so it does have the sleek curves, but they don't normally have that much girth.
Yeah,
Do you just want to chime in? I was going to chime in and say, since it's the only time I'm ever going to get to do this, I do want to use my host powers to remind you that we don't fat shame on this show, Colin.
Japers.
Thick Banshees are beautiful too.
They are.
Oh man. Well,
Go ahead, Gabe.
how thick is it compared to other Banshees? Like, is there?
Well, I don't
half
have
an
the
inch?
ones on hand, but putting it together, I mean, it's so I had built the other Banshee, the Banished Banshee, fairly recently, and that one didn't feel nearly as thick as this thing. And the wings are a little bit, I guess they feel stubbier because there's more to them. Versus just like they're wider overall.
Interesting.
And so this thing's like a mini flying tank, and I guess that falls in line with what the Banished probably would do with their vehicles. They would make them thick.
Yeah.
So I'm not used to it yet. I want to get a second one and maybe put them in like a diorama type setting and see how that looks. So that's just jarring. It looks good. But like in your hand, it feels thick.
Does that big like silver piece on the front of the I guess like the cockpit, is that a separate piece or is that molded on directly to the cockpit itself? Like, can that come off?
That is a separate piece. Yep, that's a separate piece.
Oh, no one has
Really?
taken a picture of it without that big silver guard on, and I'm wondering if it's possible to take this Banshee and if you were to paint it like purple, you'd have a perfect Halo Reach Banshee.
Oh,
That would be so cool.
yeah,
Could
that could be
be.
cool.
Oh,
There's like a little yellow highlight on the end. That's its own piece too. It's like a little rubber piece that just sticks on the end there.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, so that's its own thing. And then I actually like the yellow. What are we calling those? Are plasma bombs? Is that what they're supposed to be?
I think so.
I like
take
those. Yeah, I like those because in general those things are so easy to lose if you're actually using them and firing them. So the fact that they're bright yellow makes a lot of sense from a toy, playability standpoint. The ones I have some that are like translucent blue from other sets, like the Hornet set has a bunch of translucent blue. And on my gray carpet, those things are just gone.
They're gone. Yeah.
So at least these yellow things I'll be able to find. They give you 4 of them, which is good.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings because I'm just not used to this new design of the Banshee. But it does, if you set it down or you put it up on its little stand that they give you a little clear stand to put it up on. It does look good. It's just a lot thicker than what I'm used to. And the Recon is definitely the star of the show in this set. If you can get a bunch of these, the alternate build looks cool. But again, we'll probably talk about that in a separate show.
Yeah, cool. I was going to ask you, so I feel like the original Halo Wars 2 Banished Banshee feels a lot like the original Mega Banshee. The wings feel really similar, and the cockpit obviously is the same piece. Does this build feel a lot like the Halo 5 one?
It feels a little more similar to the Halo 5 one, yeah.
Okay.
It looks it.
Yeah, and I don't have them in front of me both right in front of me right now, but yeah, it feels a little bit more like that one. So maybe it's just because I built the Halo Wars 2 Banshee more recently. This one just felt different. So
yeah, I get that. I was gonna ask as well. So one thing I've seen a few people comment on online, they said that this one has got a bit of a gap at the front between the cockpit and the actual body of the Banshee, and it can be a little bit unsightly. Is that something that you've noticed with yours at all, or is it something that doesn't really stand out to you?
No, that didn't stand out for me as much. The thing that was a little weird was the wings.
Yeah.
And it makes sense now, but like there's a clear piece that holds those wings together.
Okay.
On each side, if you can see, there's a little gap there. If you're looking at one of the pictures, but there's a clear 2x4 plate that's holding those together. And it's clever, because I'm sure in game it looks similar to that. We haven't seen that yet in the gameplay, but that took me a bit to get used to when I was building it and putting it together to start with. Like, oh, okay, all right, I'm into this now. So yeah, that's good.
Cool. Okay. Well, did anyone else have any questions?
Let's talk about you, Tom. What do you have?
Yeah, what do you have to say, Tom?
Cool. So the only set I've managed to get my hands on so far is an absolutely beautiful one. Colin, thank you for letting me buy this through you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. And this is Warthog Rally. So obviously the Warthog is arguably the most iconic vehicle in Halo. And this is my favourite rendition of it yet. The thing I can't get out my head when it comes to this set is the fact that where it's a lot beefier and a lot bulkier, it really reminds me of the live action adaptations we've seen of the Warthog. So kind of like in Forward Unto Dawn, where you see an actual human next to it and it's this bloody massive vehicle. This feels a lot like that. So it's a little bit kind of thicker. It is a bit taller, and it just feels really, really innovative. When you compare it to the Warthog Resistance version, which is the closest version with the 343 design, this one feels like it's taken the best bits from that and has really built on that and added a lot of curvature to the build and also a lot of detail to it. So additional detail on the sides, for example.
Well, the way they build the body is completely different.
Yeah, it is. You put the sides on at the end, which blew my mind.
And there's not those big chunky pieces that are made just for the Warthog on the hood.
No, it is literally built from the ground up, which is really, really cool.
Nice.
There's some really, really cool details in here. I could honestly talk about this for ages, as you know, because I did a review. It's 20 bloody minutes long. But it has got some fun stuff. There is some nice engine detailing. And I have to admit, the biggest highlight for me, and this is a really small detail, but I love it, is the new light system that they put in. So on the Warthog Resistance piece, vehicle even, it used a old rubber hose piece, which had been in the Mega inventory for ages, to hook up the light to the main frame of the hog. And that meant that you would really struggle with putting a figure in because the hose piece would get in the way. So it got to the point where I just removed the lights on my old hogs because I thought that they were doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
But this one uses a Call of Duty bandolier piece from a weapon, so it is so thin that it actually looks like a cable in scale with the Warthog. It is incredible how much just that little thing really highlights how far Mega have come and how much their parts inventory has really grown and expanded. So I think that's cool. Obviously, the main thing to talk about here is the suspension system. It is completely new. You get a couple of brand new pieces here that are used for it. And the way it works is essentially lots of clips connecting across two pieces. So the wheels connecting to one bit and then kind of almost arms with clips on both ends hooking up to the main body. And then a rubber band is put in for some extra friction on one side.
How did you feel when you were putting that together? Wasn't it weird?
It was very fiddly, I'll be honest.
It was a little frustrating, in my opinion.
Okay.
When I put mine together, you know, this might not make sense to anyone listening who doesn't have it. So if you don't, I encourage you to go and look at the instructions on the website. But there's these little bronze pieces that you have to press into the frame that then connect up the arms. And I found that my suspension wasn't working for ages, and it kept falling apart when I tried to press down on it. And that was because one of the arms was like a millimeter out of place, like that bronze thing was just sticking out the hole slightly.
Oh, okay.
And so it meant it threw the whole mechanism off. So it is quite a delicate mechanism in that regard. And I could maybe see it falling apart with some play, to be honest with you, because of those kind of connection pieces.
I thought it felt pretty sturdy, though. That's weird. When I was putting it together, you know, well, it was one of those things where it's like, oh, I see what they're doing. Oh, this is, oh, all right, okay. So, like, slowly all came, because you put those together, you know, partway through the build.
Yeah.
And, like, I got really excited when I was doing this, because they hadn't done anything like this before. And when, at least for me, anyway, you know, when I put it together, it felt pretty sturdy. And then the biggest pain was sticking that big block to the body afterwards.
You have to like press down the two outlying bits, don't you?
Yeah, you got to really find the sweet spot, and that's just the case with brick-based stuff when you have too many pegs. Anyway, so yeah, I enjoyed it putting it together, and I don't know. We'll see what happens over time. I think to your point, you know, as you're doing photography and other things with it to see if it does crumble
fall apart.
over time.
No,
I always worry about rubber pieces
Yeah.
because I feel like those are
Yeah,
going to degrade.
if they get rotted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there is a track record with some of the earlier Mega Treads doing that, so hopefully we're past those days.
Yeah.
Were the wheels new? The wheels are they
Possibly.
the same?
I didn't get the time to compare them, but they did look new. They looked a little bit thicker.
Could take a look right now, actually.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
tread
that would be
design,
really useful, Gabe.
The tread design is new, and the hubcaps. The hubcaps might actually be as well. I'm comparing it to the anniversary hog that came with the Arbiter and the Chief, but they're entirely new wheels. They're actually a little thinner and they're a little more rounded as well.
They might be reused from earlier versions.
It's possible.
Like the Warthog Resistance. I'm not really sat in a place where I can see both of them. Do you know what? I can see my Warthog Resistance from here, and they do look quite similar.
So it might just be a 343 design thing, and when compared to like a
Yeah.
Bungie
I
era.
think they might be reused. It looks like they are, but they've just got new hubcap colours.
Right.
I'm going to apologise because somebody will comment on this if my audio just went funny. I was looking halfway across my room, so I wasn't looking at my mic, okay?
Picture his
Tom,
head
come on.
turned.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's cool. I do think, like you say, kind of the way they do it, because you have clips on both sides of the mechanism, I do think that adds some kind of rigidity. I can't say that
Yep,
word.
you can do it.
makes it a little bit more rugged. So I do
Rigidity.
think it would.
I said it for you.
There we go. I do think it would hold itself in place more now it's properly secured and I've not kind of mucked it up. But yeah, overall the build is good. And where this really shines is with the figures. We get a Marine, which obviously we're seeing in a lot of the sets. But I really like this one because he's got exposed sleeves, which is awesome. We never get them. And it adds so much variety to the BDUs we have in the Marine arsenal to kind of have figures that look slightly different. So I really, really like that. We get a version of the Chief, who is in an olive colour. Quite similar to earlier Chiefs in this same colour scheme. I think it's the same colour as the package Chief, which looks quite cool. Some nice paint apps on this. And then the two Jackal freebooters, which I have to admit look a lot better in person.
Absolutely.
I really, really like these.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're weird looking, but the more I spend time with it, the more I really like it.
Yeah.
And they've got the peg hole on top, which means possibly Jackal snipers.
Sniper! Yeah, I am really excited about the prospect of that. I mentioned that in my review. That has me hyped. The thing I would say I really like is because the figures feel a lot more slender, especially with the new body piece on the Jackals, you can kind of get them to do that thing where they stand up straight and hold their shield really tight into their body.
Yeah.
I managed to get it in a photo earlier when I was doing some toy photography, and I just thought, wow, that figure with that pose looks like it was pulled out of the game.
Well, the shields have never been scaled quite right, though, have they?
No, they haven't, which is
They're
true.
a little bit smaller than they are in game.
Especially now for a new articulation
Yeah.
Jackal.
Yeah.
I am glad that we mentioned the shields, because these have got marbling on them, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The best comparison I can make is it's like the ice-coloured bricks in the Game of Thrones White Walker Wall Battle set, where they are kind of like ice-coloured almost, and they've got some different colours marbled in, which looks really cool.
Cool.
So, all in all, really good set. I think this is perfect entry-level set for everyone, because you get Chief, you get some new villains, you get the iconic vehicle, and I think for $30 you can't go wrong.
Is it,
Absolutely.
Tom, is it the best Warthog?
Yes. I'm
Whoa!
Wow.
Hot taking it.
The only one that's better is the dual attack Warthog.
No.
Stop.
Okay.
Oh
I will push back a little bit. You said that the most iconic vehicle in Halo is the Warthog. I have to disagree. The most iconic vehicle in Halo is a crashed Pelican.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah. I thought you were going to be smart there, and you were going to go, it's the Mjolnir exosuit.
Okay, I'm not that smart.
Cool. So, I have spoken for long enough, so why don't we get into some Halo heroes? Gabe, take it away with the 3 you're going to take a look at.
All right, to start off with my 3 heroes from the newest of the Halo Heroes Series 12 is the Mark 7, which in the previous episode that they included me on, and as I've posted on my socials plenty about, I am absolutely enamored with this armor and the figure. I literally can't get over it. I think it is such a good-looking Spartan. This one in...
Is it better in person than when you saw it originally?
Yeah, even better. I mean, the picture made me want it enough, but having it in hand, there's one very small gripe I have with it, and it's that the design of the helmet is just a bit too wide for the torso. So when you turn the head, it actually interferes with the chest piece, and it kind of, I don't know, it's a little clunky, but I mean, if you're careful, like it's fine and you don't really notice. But this figure in Series 12 comes obviously with the new Bulldog automatic shotgun from Halo Infinite. It's in red and gray, and it's actually asymmetrical, and its right arm is in red along with the helmet, and the rest of the body is painted in gray, which leads a lot of fans to believe that the customization choices in Infinite will be maybe that you can color individual armor pieces instead of just your classic, base armor and then a secondary. But the shoulders, back, chest, helmet, and codpiece actually are all entirely new molds, and then just the legs and forearms are reused, which makes me extremely happy. They really went all out for this figure, which makes me so excited.
This is going to be like the base multiplayer armor, right?
To say that.
That's what I'm thinking as well, just like how Recruit was or something. Moving on from that figure, the next one I have is the Marine Sniper. And this is... I'm in the middle about this figure. For what it is an incredibly well-done figure. It's one of very, very, very few figures... I'm not even sure the Halo line itself has done this often, but her entire undersuit has printed on camo on every piece, on the legs, the torso, the arms. It's got a very crisp, nice camo undersuit in like a grayish blue color. She comes with a side pack, 2 of the Call of Duty. I'm not really sure what you'd call them. They're little like band pieces you slip on the legs that have like the pegs for grenades and stuff.
They're like leg straps.
Yeah, she comes with a flashbang, the backpack. Interesting design choice was going with Mark V shoulders for the shoulder pieces. They're painted in a olive green and a tan, which, they kind of fit, honestly, until you look at them and you're like, oh my gosh, those are like Master Chief shoulders. But she comes obviously with the ODST sniper helmet and then the new Marine torso piece. And an interesting detail about her is that if you look really, really closely at the chest piece, she has 8 slash marks.
Yeah.
Which I'm very curious as to why they included that specific detail, or what it, if it has any story implications to Halo Infinite. But other than that, I mean, there's beautiful detail on the bullets on her left leg. The alternate headpiece, all of the facial applications look amazing. And of course, she comes with a sniper rifle, which is the M99, the Halo 4 model. And then the last Halo Heroes figure that I'll be talking about is the Spartan Recon. Now, this is a orange and blue Halo Reach figure, or it's based on Halo Reach, so the helmet is an entirely new mold. It comes with the new Halo Infinite MA40, which also has interchangeable sights, so it does have the slide on it, so you can put on different scopes and attachments. It's it's a rather not basic in a bad sense, but I mean it's a basic Halo Reach figure. It's got blue and orange commando chest piece. Notably on the blue, there's actually a silver dry brush, and it's only on the blue pieces, which is interesting. But the only thing I'd have to say about this figure that I'm not particularly fond of is that the helmet is very long. It's like a very long, thin helmet, which looks very interesting. But I mean, I'm always happy about new molds and seeing a Halo Reach Recon, an official one, so that, me being a customizer, I usually use the Halo 3 one, but now having an official Halo Reach mold, it looks beautiful. The MA40, the assault rifle included with it, it actually has some really, really crisp paint details. Has a lot of silver, gunmetal gray, black detailing on it. So that looks really crisp, and so does the chest piece. But all in all, I mean, for these 3 Halo Heroes figures, totally army building style figures, especially with the Mark 7. Even with the Recon and the Sniper, you could definitely army build all of these. Top figure has to be Mark 7, hands down, by far. But they're all great, and I'm really happy that I could find them.
In the whole line, or just of your 3?
In the whole line for me. I mean, the Mark 7 definitely takes top in the whole Heroes line. I really, really like that armor.
Cool.
I wanted to jump in off the back of the Marine quickly and just say, for a good look at those tally marks and the details on the chest plate, Sal, so obviously Halo fan for life, his written review of that has got some really, really good high quality photos that show that.
He took some great pictures.
Yeah, he got some really good ones, so make sure you check that out. And also, because I know you mentioned it and said you don't think they've done it often, the fully camouflaged BDU, this figure, if I'm right, is only the second time that Mega have ever done this. And the only other figure is General Shepard from the most recent Call of Duty Heroes line.
Holy cow.
Yeah, because for
That's
every
impressive.
other figure, they have only ever done the legs. They've never done the torsos for some reason.
And for a Halo figure at that.
I mean, it's something we've never seen on them before, so I'm excited because hopefully we can see
super
it
cool,
more.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in here and actually throw in a couple comments about these 3. The most interesting thing I thought about the Marine was that she came with an ODST helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I was intrigued by that. I wonder what that means for Infinite. Is it that the Marines are just scrounging around and picking up helmets and
making do?
You know what I mean? Like they're scraping stuff together.
They're looting.
Yeah. Another thing, the Bulldog shotgun that comes with the Mark 7 is one of the best designed Mega Construct weapons because it actually really fits in the hands of the Spartan with ease. Cool. So they can grab the front, grab it, and it just fits nice and snug. Awesome. And they can shoulder it perfectly. The one thing that draws me back about the Mark 7 is that I don't like the red. I wish it would have just been a solid color, because that's I'm not big on color, especially like if you don't want to get a headshot, you're not going to put a red, you know what I mean? But I understand what they're going for with the customization. Yeah. I do hope that we get a Mark 7 armor design in the Chief colors, because I want to see Mark 7 Chief. And obviously it might not be canon, or you might be able to fix your character however you want it in Infinite, but I would love to see a Mark 7 Master Chief, just because I love the armor design, and I totally agree with you, Gabe. It is solid. Yeah, it's excellent.
Beautiful. I mean, there is a green Mark 7 that comes in another set that I'm sure you all will discuss in a future episode, but
true that.
I'd like to see, at least for the same color they used for the Infinite Chief. That'd be a cool looking Spartan.
Yeah. I did just want to ask, with the Bulldog, is the foregrip removable?
No.
No. Cool.
But it's badass.
Actually, can you put sights on the Bulldog?
I think I've seen a photo with a red dot on it.
Give me 2 seconds and I'll see if I can do that.
Yeah, go ahead and give that a shot, because I wonder.
Live on air, guys. We're doing some pulling together.
I was going to say, I'm sure the armor pack with the Spartans has got a marketing shot with it, yeah.
Does it really? Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yes, you can. Okay, so I just put the assault rifle attachment onto the... and it's quite large, so you can have it up front. You can have it near the end of the gun.
Cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, really.
This gun just keeps getting better and better, guys. I love it.
There you go, live discovery.
Good call, Tom.
Matt, why don't you continue discovering cool things and talk us through your 3?
All right, so I'm going to start off with my favorite of the line, and that is the Elite Ultra. I'm a huge fan of this armor design. Like I said, it was probably one of my top picks for a Halo Heroes figure, so I'm glad that we got an Ultra. This one is is actually quite detailed. And when I originally first saw it, and when we first did our episode on it, we didn't have the high-res photos that Mega Construct releases. But now that I have the figure and I'm able to see the photos, there is a significant amount of intricate detail just like interwoven into the armor. Lots of little cuts and grooves in there. So it actually kind of looks like a Forerunner building just on armor. It's excellent. Also, the plasma repeater that comes with this figure is one of the most detailed plasma repeater Covenant weapons that I've seen. It has a very nice light blue alien writing on it, or whatever the plasma guns have on it, that energy glow on it. It's awesome. So that's my favorite personally. And then next up, we're going with the Brute Banished figure. And this guy has one of the most intricate chest plates also. I love just like the indication of the red that's on his armor. His shoulder pads are a bit broader, so it definitely adds a little more beef to the character. The helmet isn't my favorite because it leaves his jaw extended, so it kind of looks it looks like it's a helmet that's too small for him. I like the fin on top of it. It comes with a weapon, the not brute shot. So, but I really like it. Again, it has that same kind of waist rubber piece, so full range of motion. It's excellent. The Gungnir Spartan, it has an interesting metal arm, so you're kind of going back to that Noble Team Cat design with that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It is pretty much, the rest of the body is pretty much Emil's. So same torso, same kind of broad shoulder on the left. The helmet is excellent because it has this really cool little white stripe going through it. So it just kind of adds something that sets it apart. And with that figure, you get the Brute Mangler. So that smaller gun that we were able to see in the Infinite gameplay. So that's pretty interesting.
How much detail is in that thing? I don't have it in front of me.
On the weapon or on the figure?
On the weapon.
On the weapon, not too much. It's actually probably the least detailed of the three that I've talked about.
Well, don't forget that the middle comes out just like a concussion rifle.
Yep.
Oh, it does, right?
That's a removable
I thought they were
piece.
going to do that with the Bulldog, but it doesn't come out.
Because the Gungnir's helmet as well is a new mold from Halo Reach, because they've only ever made the Halo 4 Gungnir.
Okay, yeah. So moving on from that, obviously, I think there is one big set that has been popping up that we've not covered. So, Papa Colin, would you like to lead us out with this big boy?
Yeah, this is the big one, huh? This is the Defense Point Showdown.
Dun, dun,
lots
dun.
of interesting tidbits on this set. Real quick, it is 782 bricks, and it's MSRP at $59.99. Target has it listed for $79.99, so you need to make sure to price match that with Amazon. Grab it for 60 bones, save yourself $20. Yeah, this thing it looks really good. It took me a while. So once I was building and I wasn't sure what was going on, you build the legs first. So you have to build all 3 legs. You have to do that 3 times. And then you build the center section, and then you build the turret on top. And you build like the legs. You build like the feet of the legs separately. You kind of put those on towards the middle of the build. Anyway, so I wasn't sure like how big it was gonna be as I was slowly putting it all together. But by the time it was, I had the base ready and then slapped that giant cannon on top. It felt like a really nice piece. I didn't have a chance to compare it to the AA gun, the Reach one yet, just to compare size-wise. But it feels similar. I think the AA gun is probably a little taller than this.
Okay.
But you can lean this one back and forward. Like the gun itself is bigger than the Reach one.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. Like this build, the pictures don't do it quite justice because there's lots of detail along the gun itself, the cannon itself. Like on the back, there's like these little pieces that give it some just some texture and make it look, extra mean. And I love having you get 2 banished pieces on it. So those ones that you see on the sides, those are painted pieces. I like having 2 of those. So and I'm just you can use those for other sets. And if you want to build your little structures, you can have like these little banished logos that you can throw on them. The legs have so when you pick it up, the legs kind of dip down. Okay. And so they're not solid, and so I guess that would allow you to put it on different terrain, maybe, and allow it to balance differently. And then there's those little pieces on the end. I don't know what those would even be, but those little those tall structures on the end of the feet, those do pop off, and there's a play feature that they've built into that where you can hit the end of it with your finger, and then they'll fly off.
Do you think that's in reference to how you might take them down in Halo Infinite? Like to go for the support legs?
Yeah, it could be.
Well, it's interesting because when we saw the gameplay, it said that you need to shut down the turrets.
Yeah.
I think it was by using the weapon from underneath, right? So
I don't know.
Maybe it's just something that's destructible when you do get up to the turret if you are next to it.
Are those the same turrets?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, well, because in the game you can go inside it.
Yeah.
So this is significantly smaller than...
Oh, yeah, it's definitely been scaled down.
Yeah, I guess so. But even in
sure.
the Reach one, you could go inside it, kind of.
Yeah.
We can go under it.
It gives me really, really strong impressions of the Mantis AA turret from Halo 3 on that one mission. It reminds me a lot of that style.
And if you remember,
Yeah,
that's one of the sets that I wanted. So, I mean, like, Mega was just listening to our episode and going like, what does Matt want?
All credit to
you're
Matt.
welcome.
Yeah,
You're
quick,
welcome.
put this together. We got 2 weeks.
You're welcome.
I was going to say, I did notice a little detail on this one, and I'm interested if you picked up on this as you were building it, Colin. It looks like they almost simulate it being a scaled model, because there are printed pieces where the doorways are in the trailer. So the doorways that's shot in the trailer, it looks like there's printed black pieces there that simulate where that doorway would be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, there's 2 of those, one on either side there. And when you look at it, so you can't really tell. It's not like it's not like a triangle, the legs. Yeah. So there's one in the front that is farther stretched out than the 2 in the back. Yeah. So imagine like a tricycle type situation.
Cool. How do you feel about getting another mongoose in this set? Do you wish that had been something different, or does it work well here?
From a playability standpoint, I think it works because, I mean, just what I mentioned before, you can roll that thing under the turret.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you can get it under with a Marine on it, but you can you can kind of play with it around there. So I think that makes sense. I mean, there's no other small vehicle that the UNSC has that would really make sense unless you wanted to, I don't know, pair it with a Hornet maybe, but that's probably too big. So I think having the mongoose makes sense as a an additional play piece.
I like it. I'm glad they included it. I mean, in a perfect world, I would have asked for a banished ghost, but I like that they included the. I like that they would include something where you actually have like, it's kind of like nice when they include different vehicles or enemies, so that you can, if you get this set and you just get this one, you have figures to verse each other with. So I like that they're going with that. I like that it's not it's all banished.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on it's Hyperius in that set, correct?
Yeah, so Craig Hyperius is in the set. And he must have killed Locke somewhere along the lines because he's got his helmet on the side.
Yeah, that's really an interesting detail.
He dead.
Yeah, so like apparently I have terrible lighting wherever I go whenever I'm putting these sets, because I was like in my office at home. I'm not in my office at home right now, but I was staring at this thing and I was like, is this Locke or not? So I feel like I need to bring this outside and just like in the middle of the day and just try to look at this thing. But
just go and stand in the middle of the street in the middle of the day staring at your little Mega Construx.
Right, exactly. Is this you, Jameson? Are you in there? But it's definitely that style of helmet, and so something I noticed from the Infinite trailer, or the Infinite gameplay, Escherum, he has the helmets that he has, or he has his shoulder pads. Those are brute helmets. Did you guys notice
Are
that?
they?
No, I didn't. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Huh.
those things. So it's just one of their things. And who knows if it's lock or not? But he is a really cool figure. He's got his jump pack on in the back, and I love his helmet. The helmet's got a little like a orangey, kind of a ginger look to his hair in the back. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays out in the game.
Yeah.
And his helmet is pretty mean too. It looks like almost Jaws on the bottom of his helmet. The way it's colored differently.
And this set comes with Chief and a Marine, right?
And the
Yep.
grunt. That new grunt.
And the red grunt. Yeah, exactly. So the Marine, I was going to talk about him. He looks very Call of Duty because he's got his little radar or his little antenna on the back of his backpack, which have we seen that in Halo at all?
Yeah, in Halo 3.
We've seen a few of them.
Yeah, Yankee
Okay.
Squad had it.
I don't think I have many of them. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, a couple of them, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so the sets that I have don't have the backpack with that, but I like it. His helmet's good. He's, just the more I get of these Marines, the more I'm just going to throw all my old Marines away. They're just going to go.
Whoa!
Whoa. Hold on.
I'm kidding. No, they. I feel like for my eventual chess set, I just need to get a bunch of these guys.
Yeah.
For
No,
that thing.
they are the
They
superior
fantastic.
design. They are superior.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it. I mean, they're all, they're the gameplay accurate and all that sort of stuff. So, but it does make me curious. The more of these that we get, the more it makes me curious about in Infinite how we're going to interact with Marines. Are we ever getting a chance to play as a Marine? I don't know. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. But
there's infinite possibilities, guys. Infinite possibilities.
There really are. Then we get I'll save Chiefy Boy for last. We get our grunt, our red grunt with his like the helmet that's like stuck to his face.
Yeah.
And that's not removable at all. Is a little bit different. That's a brand new Infinite design, right? That for this guy.
The torso is, but the helmet is from a Grunt Imperial, which they released back in like 2014.
Okay. Throw back to the good old days.
Yeah, the torso. I do like the torso, and the torso does come apart.
It's different, isn't it? Because it doesn't connect under the shoulder, does it?
Oh, it doesn't. You're right. Yeah. No, it is a little bit different, but it does come apart, so you can pull it apart.
Cool.
I guess I'm doing it right now. Yeah,
Sweet.
It does come apart. It seems easy enough. And it also does in the back. My frustration with the grunts, where you put their armor together, it doesn't really connect all the way in the back. This one does, so that's nice. Cool. And then there's two little.
So
pieces
we have a
that
happy
come
Colin.
Off. Yeah, that's right. So I'm all about this one. There's little knobs on the end of his methane tank that come off too. So those are like
nice.
Those little eyepieces. But I'm happy with that. I'm happy with his color, and he actually has good detail on his mask as well. So cool. Very happy with him. And then we got Chiefy. There's so many Chief. Like it's gonna be Chief. We're just drowning in Chief now.
You get a Chief, and you get a Chief, and you get a Chief. Yeah.
So Infinite
the
Chiefs. Title actually reflects the fact that Halsey is going to clone Chief.
Yes.
Exclusive.
So he's pretty similar to probably the Warthog Run one, except for he's got a little, he's got some dusty boots. So that's good.
Oh, cool.
Other than that, I feel like it's pretty similar in all the other paint applications. The color might be a little bit different, but again, I have terrible light where I'm at, so this might be a little bit lighter.
I did have a color question for you, so you're going to hate me. Is the Marine BDU the same color as all the other sets? Because I've seen some photos that make it look a little bit like it's a different shade of green.
Yeah, it's a little bit darker.
Okay, cool.
It's a little, richer green.
I have a theory.
It's a bit different.
I have a theory about this turret. And when I first saw this turret, this is what came to me, was that it was a Promethean turret. And I was wondering if this is a Promethean turret that the Banished have repurposed to serve them.
It could be. It definitely could be.
Yeah. It kind of has that look.
It has that boxier look compared to whereas most of the Covenant weapons there's always a lot of curves and softer edges. This one kind of just is like the box.
But you do have to think it is the Banished, though. And the Banished are all about just scrap metal.
True, but even in their but look at their Banshee. It is beefier, but it's still got those nice elegant curves. Even their scarab doesn't have like a boxy look to it. It's got a very sleek look.
I don't know, Matt. Have you seen the Phantom in this game?
Yeah, don't bring up the Phantom. No.
So I'm looking at the. I'm looking closer at my terrible light, and I think the marine color is the same. It's just you don't have the contrast of the pale white arms on one of them. So I think it is actually the same.
Okay, cool. Right. Well, I think that we have gone very in depth here, which has been a lot of fun. I'm gonna skip through the sets that we've not covered very, very quickly. I would ask your thoughts on them, but I think we're getting on a bit for time here, so it probably makes sense to just touch on them. So sets that we'll touch on in a future episode are Skiff Intercept, Pelican Inbound, the Army Builders, so the UNSC Spartan Armor Pack, the UNSC Marine Gear Pack, and the $2 General Free Packs as well, the Collectible Minifigure Series, the Forerunner Ring Installation, the Energy Sword, the Master Chief Helmet, the Building Box, and of course that glorious San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
I can't wait to have it in hand.
Yeah, I think we are all very excited. So is there anything we didn't cover that you guys would like to touch on?
What set are we looking forward to most to picking up that we haven't grabbed?
Out of the
new Phantom.
Oh boy. I'll go first then. I want the Warthog. I haven't been able to grab the Warthog yet, so I am super keen on picking that up because it does look like the best of every Warthog. So I'm super excited to get that one.
Colin, what did you say?
Well, I have the Energy Sword, and I haven't put together yet, and that thing looks super rad, like a great shelf piece, and that's kind of what I'm all about in my life these days. So I'm into that. I think the Pelican itself, though, is going to be, it's the biggest build out of everything, and it has some cool features that I want to see how they come together, not only from a build standpoint, but also a display standpoint.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I think that thing is probably going to be my favorite. The skiff is interesting too because I didn't realize it has a little bit of a gear on the inside that lets you turn the turret. So I'm interested to put that together as well.
So pretty much all of them.
Well,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty much actually.
Cool. So yeah, Gabe, what about you?
Pelican. I can't wait for Pelican. It's gotta be Pelican.
Yeah,
me too.
I cannot wait to see the Pelican in hand. Also, finally, to have all of the Chief figures. I'm really excited to see the pilot because they're releasing his pieces, or at least his chest piece and his helmet are coming in that Marine gear pack. But I am really excited to see the official pilot figure. The Banished, I'm not even going to call it a Banished Hunter, just for sake of avoiding, rumors. But, the Hunter figure that comes with it also looks very, very interesting. I'm excited to see, actually, I wonder if there's any ability to carry vehicles on the back of it like you could do with the Halo 4 one.
So, the new Warthog doesn't have anything built into the central column. It would be able to pick up like the old builds have. So I'm not sure if we will see that this time around, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure Brickman 117 could figure something out.
I was just about to say, I bet you he's got it all rigged up.
He's got it all planned.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
real quick. Speaking of
go.
piece count, I'm sorry, I know you're gonna go, but speaking of piece count, all of these sets include a ton of extra pieces.
Yeah.
And I think some of that has to do with their new approach to the 2-for-1 builds. So some of the builds that they have planned for you probably take an extra couple pieces, and so they're giving you extra pieces that they always do, but you're getting quite a bit more because of that additional build, I bet.
I mean, you get an additional rail piece in the Warthog, which was quite cool because they're like quite a nice piece to get an extra of. So I was going to say, I'm actually most looking forward to the Marine Gear Pack.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the smaller sets.
Nice.
But I'm just really excited because obviously we know that we're getting a Marine in the blind bags. So the fact that I can take that Marine and with the spare parts from this set make like 3 or 4 different characters as well as the 2 in the set is fantastic. And getting that kind of armor in white colors to emulate Halo Reach is wonderful. Being able to make a pilot easily because we never seem to get enough pilot figures is awesome. I just think that there's a lot to love in this set, so I'm really excited for it.
There's infinite possibility with the Marines. Oh, and shout out to the pilot pilot, the only pilot to have ever survived a Halo crash landing.
Yeah,
You
really.
do us proud.
Well, we don't know he survives all the way, Matt.
Well, he survived that crash.
And on that note,
He survives one
That's
crash.
all that matters. That's all it needs.
Yeah.
He is now one on the statistic. One has survived. Our pilots didn't make it.
so before we descend into any more chaos about crushing pelicans here, I think we are going to round out the show. So Gabe, first of all, why don't you let people know where they can find you?
If you'd like to look into my work or keep up to date with any Halo updates or news on my upcoming projects, just go ahead and look at my Twitter or Instagram at gcustomscreations, all one word, and you'll be able to look at my portfolio of custom minifigures all made by using Halo Mega Construx figures. Thanks.
And they are awesome.
Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me at Pure Genius Lego on the tweets, and you can also find me on YouTube with that. I do want to go, before I go, I do want to shout out someone.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out it's at John on the Drift. This guy's
Yes,
awesome. Thank
my
you so very
man.
much,
He's
John,
a great guy. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
all the amazing comments. I love that you build while you listen to these episodes. It's so nice to hear that you are enjoying the show. So shout out to you, man. You are awesome.
Yeah, John's a good down-to-earth guy. We were having a chat on Twitter the other day, and he's a really cool guy. So, John, if you're listening, thank you for your support. Colin, where can people find you, boss man?
If you type in Colin Perkins into Google, I'm on page 4.
You see a lot of things you don't
I'm on
wanna
page 4
see.
and I still haven't found me, so I'm not even sure where to find me.
Cool.
Just, you can tweet at me at Perkline. That's cool.
Cool, sweet. And for anyone who wants to find me, I don't know where you would, considering how much of a dumpster fire me hosting this episode has been. You can find me at Tom_Jurassic on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, so that will do it for the show. Thanks for joining Builds with Blocks. If you like the show, feel free to support Podcast Evolved on Patreon. And until next time, evolve.
Evolved.
Evolve.
Evolved.